am joined today by members of my public safety team, specifically the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Justice, Kevin Donahue, the Chief of Police, and members of MPD leadership. We are here today to provide an important update in the Micaiah Wilson case. On July 16th, as you know, at just 10 years old, Micaiah Wilson was shot and killed outside of her home in Clay Terrace. Her death brought immeasurable pain to her family, friends, classmates, and neighbors. It shocked the conscience of our entire community and vividly illustrated the dangers caused by illegal firearms and the wanton disregard for human life displayed that night. We are committed to delivering justice. Chief Newsham will talk more about the details of an arrest we made earlier today, and I want to take a moment to thank the public for all of the assistance that you have provided us in this case. This murder was devastating. This was a beautiful 10-year-old child, and we called on the public to help us. And we continue to ask for the public's assistance in this case. The chief will explain that we have identified a second suspect who is still at large, and we will be releasing the name and photo of that individual and ask for the public's help. Micaiah Wilson should still be with us. She should have returned to school this week, and this weekend she should be with her family and friends doing the things that 10-year-old girls do, but she's not, and we won't be satisfied until we find justice in her murder.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor Bowser. I'm Pete Newsham. I'm the Chief of Police for the Metropolitan Police Department. As the mayor said, on Monday, July 16th at about 8 p.m., members of the 6th District responded to the 300 block of 53rd Street Northeast for the sound of gunshots. Video recovered from that area would later reveal that 5 masked men drove into the block armed with handguns and at least one assault weapon. They indiscriminately fired 7 rounds in multiple directions in our Clay Terrace neighborhood. When the shooting ended, there were 5 victims suffering from gunshot wounds, including 10-year-old Micaiah Wilson. Micaiah was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. MPD homicide detectives have been working tirelessly on this case since it occurred on August 16th, and yesterday they were able to obtain 2 arrest warrants for 2 of the individuals responsible for Micaiah's murder. This morning, pursuant to one of those arrest warrants, members of the Capital Area Regional Fugitive Task Force arrested 20-year-old Kuwan Thomas of Southeast Washington, D.C. for first-degree murder while armed. The remaining open arrest warrant is for 21-year-old Quentin Michaels of Southeast D.C. The arrest warrant is for first-degree murder while armed, and we will be providing photographs of Mr. Michaels. We're asking the public for their assistance in locating this suspect. If you know the whereabouts of Mr. Michaels, please contact police immediately. You'd need to call 911. He should be considered armed and dangerous. As a reminder, MPD, along with the FBI, are currently offering a reward of up to $45,000 for anyone who provides information that leads to an arrest and a conviction in this case. And you can do that by calling 202-727-9099 or texting us on 50411. I want to acknowledge the incredible work that was done by Gus Gynakoulias and the other members of the MPD Homicide Unit. I also want to acknowledge the work of the district's Department of Forensic Sciences, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, their Criminal Gun Intelligence Center, all of whom were instrumental in getting us to this point in the investigation. I'd also like to acknowledge the FBI, who provided additional reward money in this case. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who has provided tips and information in this case. But I would also caution folks that this investigation is not over, and we will continue to need the public to come forward if they have information. There are at least 3 other men that are responsible for this little girl's death, and you can rest assured that we will not rest until all of them are held accountable for Micaiah's murder. We can take any questions that you all might have.
By virtue of having this man in custody and seeking...
Whose microphone dropped? Is it okay? All right. Sorry about that.
Does this increase your hope of getting these other 3 guys?
Absolutely. This definitely progresses the investigation in a positive way. And we're, like I said earlier, we're going to continue working until we help get everybody who was responsible for this.
Chief, are you able to say anything about why they chose to get out of the car and shoot that day? Anything on motive?
We're not going to discuss motive at this time, but I think some of that may become a little bit more, you get a little bit more information when they're presented in court, or when he's presented in court.
Chief, is the suspect in custody? Can you say if he's talking to you?
We're not going to talk about that.
For these arrests, what does this mean, I guess, for the rest of the investigation? I know that there was the car that was found, this other person that was arrested in Prince George's County. Did those things help lead up to these arrests?
Yeah, there's a lot of, like I said, the detectives, they work tirelessly on all of these homicide cases, but particularly when we lose a 10-year-old in our community. And they gathered, you will see when you see the court documents, information from a bunch of different places. Obviously, having the vehicle that was involved in the case was helpful. Having video was helpful. Being able to, having the Prince George's County Police Department arrest the person that was originally responsible for carjacking that vehicle, that was helpful. And there's a lot of other information that was helpful in getting us to this point. I want to stress to folks, though, that this investigation is still very active. If anybody, particularly when we have 2 people whose names are out there, if they know any information that would suggest where these folks were around the time of this homicide, that could additionally help us move forward with this investigation. I can tell you, every time that I've been over in that neighborhood since this has happened, I have had members of the public come up to me and say that the only thing that they want to see is that there be justice for Micaiah. And so there are a lot of people that are interested in getting to the bottom of this. And the 3 plus people that are out there right now that have some responsibility here, I would say to them that they need to step forward and put an end to this thing and come on down to 100 M Street Southwest at our homicide branch and turn themselves in. All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you.